let me be very clear with you. Respect is not something you demand, it's something you earn, and just as fast as you can earn it, you can lose it. Most people don't even realize the little attitudes, the subtle behaviors that quietly strip away their credibility. I've seen it in high-pressure situations, in law enforcement, in everyday life. If you want people to take you seriously, if you want influence, then you need to know the attitudes that instantly make others lose respect for you. Lack of self-control shows weakness, not strength. People often confuse control with suppression, but in reality, it is about power. The way you manage your emotions, your impulses, and your reactions tells the world exactly who you are. When someone provokes you, the first instinct is often to react, raise your voice, argue, or let anger drive your response. But here's the truth: anyone can react. That takes no effort, no discipline, and no intelligence. What takes strength is choosing restraint. What takes true character is keeping your composure in moments where everything in you wants to explode. Self-control communicates mastery, not only of your words, but of your inner state. When you lose that, you show people you are fragile, easily manipulated, and not in command of yourself. And if you can't command yourself, how can you expect others to respect you? Think of the times you've seen someone lose it in public, whether it's yelling at a stranger in traffic, snapping at a coworker, or even throwing a tantrum over something small. What did you think in that moment? Did you look at that person and think, "Wow, that's strength"? Or did you immediately lose respect because they revealed they couldn't handle pressure? That's the cost of losing control. The moment you let your emotions run wild, you hand your power over to the situation and to the people around you. You show that anyone who knows how to push your buttons can control you, and when others know they can control you, they stop respecting you. Now, self-control doesn't mean you don't feel anger, frustration, or irritation. You're human and emotions will always come, but the difference between someone respected and someone dismissed is how they deal with those emotions. Do you let them spill out carelessly, or do you hold them, process them, and respond with precision? A person who maintains control under stress communicates strength without saying a word. People notice it. They admire it and they trust it. In leadership, relationships, and even in daily life, this makes all the difference. A boss who yells loses the room, but a boss who stays calm commands it. A partner who lashes out loses love, but a partner who controls their emotions builds deeper respect. A friend who overreacts loses credibility, but a friend who stays composed earns trust. In every dynamic, self-control becomes the foundation for respect. Without it, every other quality, intelligence, talent, charm, loses weight because people cannot trust someone who cannot trust themselves. The mistake many people make is believing that loudness, aggression, or immediate reaction proves dominance. They think strength is about overpowering others with emotion, but real dominance, real influence comes from silence, from pause, from deliberate action. The calm person in a heated room is the one who gets listened to. The person who refuses to be baited is the one who maintains authority. This is why self-control is not optional. It's the difference between respect gained and respect lost. Every time you face a difficult moment, remind yourself that self-control is not weakness, it's strategy, it's discipline, it's strength disguised as stillness. And the people who know how to master it are the ones who consistently earn respect while others lose it. Talking too much exposes insecurity, not confidence. People often believe that filling the air with words makes them appear knowledgeable, persuasive, or even in control, but it usually has the opposite effect. The more you talk, the more likely you are to reveal your doubts, your weaknesses, or information that undermines your credibility. Those who cannot stop speaking often do so because they feel uncomfortable with silence, and that discomfort says more about them than their words ever could. Silence is not your enemy, it is a tool, and people who respect themselves know how to use it. When you constantly talk, you show the world that you are trying too hard to prove yourself. That effort signals insecurity, and others immediately pick up on it. Consider the most influential people you've met or observed. Do they dominate conversations by endlessly speaking, or do they make their words count? The individuals who carry the most respect rarely speak the most. Instead, they listen, process, and choose carefully when to contribute. Their pauses, their control over language make what they say matter. In contrast, someone who cannot stop talking often waters down their message. Their words lose weight because they don't know when to stop. And the more they ramble, the less people respect them. This habit also reveals a lack of confidence in your own presence. If you believe that who you are is enough, you don't feel the need to constantly prove it with excessive talking. You can sit comfortably in silence, knowing that people respect you not just for what you say, but for how you carry yourself. But if you feel the urge to fill every pause, it shows you're afraid of being forgotten, ignored, or overlooked. That fear comes across as insecurity, and insecurity is always sensed by others. Respect doesn't go to the loudest voice in the room, it goes to the voice that speaks with certainty and purpose. There's also a practical danger in talking too much. You give away power. The more you say, the more information you reveal, sometimes information that others can use against you. In negotiations, in leadership, even in casual conversations, the person who talks the least often has the most control. They are not pressured into over-explaining, they do not reveal unnecessary details, and they do not weaken their position. People who respect themselves know when to stop speaking. They understand that words are currency, and overspending makes you poor. Another truth is that excessive talking often signals nervousness. You can hear it when someone rushes through their sentences, jumps from topic to topic, or repeats themselves unnecessarily. Instead of appearing confident, they appear unsettled. And when someone looks unsettled, others lose confidence in them. Respect is tied to composure, and composure shows in how you manage your voice, your words, and your timing. A calm, measured statement is far more powerful than 10 minutes of uncontrolled talking. Think about the times you've watched someone in authority, a teacher, a leader, an expert. The ones who left an impression probably weren't the ones who spoke endlessly. They were the ones who could deliver one strong point and let silence do the rest of the work. They allowed their words to breathe, and in doing so, gave them weight. People leaned in, listened, and remembered. Talking less didn't make them less powerful, it made them magnetic. Respect follows those who speak with intention. Talking too much signals you're unsure of yourself, trying to fill the gap with noise instead of presence. When you choose to speak less, you don't diminish yourself. You amplify your impact. It shows confidence, control, and strength. And those are the qualities people respect the most. Disrespecting others destroys your own credibility. The way you treat people is the clearest reflection of your character, and it communicates far more than your words or achievements ever could. You might think showing disrespect proves dominance, makes you look stronger, or earns you authority, but in reality, it exposes weakness and insecurity. Every time you belittle someone, dismiss their voice, or treat them as less than, you broadcast to the world that you cannot lead yourself, let alone others. Respect is reciprocal, and when you strip it away from others, you strip it away from yourself. Think about the people you've admired in your life. Were they the ones who looked down on others, mocked them, or made themselves feel big by making others feel small? Probably not. True strength is not demonstrated by pushing people down. It's shown by how you lift them up even when you don't have to. People notice when you disrespect someone. Even if they're not the target, they're watching and silently asking, how would this person treat me if I wasn't useful to them? That question decides whether they respect you or lose respect for you. Disrespect comes in many forms. It's not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's interrupting others when they speak. Sometimes it's ignoring people when they're talking to you. Sometimes it's talking over someone in a meeting or dismissing their contributions with a smirk or a sarcastic remark. Each of these behaviors chips away at your credibility. They reveal arrogance, impatience, and immaturity. Even worse, they make others less likely to trust you because people know that respect is the foundation of trust. If you can't extend it, you can't expect it. There's also a silent cost to disrespect. It isolates you. People don't want to be around someone who makes them feel small. They may tolerate you because they have to, but they won't follow you, admire you, or stay loyal to you. They'll avoid sharing ideas, they'll withhold effort, and they'll never go the extra mile for you. Disrespect kills loyalty, and once loyalty is gone, credibility crumbles. Leadership, influence, and relationships cannot survive without it. Some people think they gain power by disrespecting others, but that's a short-lived illusion. For a moment, it may feel like you've won, like you've put someone in their place. But over time, people remember how you made them feel, and that memory shapes your reputation. Long after the conversation ends, they carry that sting. And the more people you disrespect, the more that reputation spreads. Eventually, people stop seeing you as powerful and start seeing you as toxic. That's how credibility dies, not with one big mistake, but with repeated moments where you chose ego over respect. The strongest people understand this. They know that respect is not a sign of weakness but of mastery. To listen to someone else, to value their perspective even when you disagree, shows security in yourself. It communicates confidence, patience, and control. It shows you don't need to prove your worth by tearing others down because your presence already commands attention. That's why people trust leaders who show respect. They know those leaders are grounded enough to handle pressure without lashing out. If you want lasting credibility, you need to respect others at every level. Respect is not selective. It's not something you offer only to those above you or those who can benefit you. The way you treat the people who can do nothing for you speaks louder than how you treat those who can. When you show kindness and dignity to everyone, people see it, they feel it, and they remember it. Respect given freely earns respect in return. Disrespect destroys it instantly. Avoidance of accountability makes you untrustworthy. People respect those who own their actions, their words, and their choices, even when things go wrong. The moment you start blaming others, making excuses, or trying to shift responsibility, you show weakness, and worse, you show dishonesty. No one respects someone who cannot face their own mistakes. Accountability is not about being perfect, it's about being real. When you avoid it, you lose credibility because people know they cannot rely on you. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone falls short at some point. What separates people who maintain respect from those who lose it is how they respond when they fail. Some immediately look for someone to point at, hoping to escape the consequences. Others bury the truth, thinking if they hide it long enough it will disappear, but it never does. The truth always comes out, and when it does, the damage to your reputation is far worse than if you had simply owned it from the start. People don't expect you to be flawless, but they do expect you to be accountable. When you refuse, you prove you are not trustworthy, and once trust is gone, respect follows. Avoiding accountability is also a signal of immaturity. It shows you cannot handle the weight of your own decisions. In leadership, this is fatal. A leader who deflects blame onto their team destroys morale. A leader who refuses responsibility for failure creates resentment. And when respect erodes within a team, performance collapses. People don't follow someone who abandons them when things go wrong. They may comply, but compliance is not respect. Respect is earned when you stand up, take ownership, and face consequences with courage. On a personal level, avoidance of accountability makes relationships shallow and unstable. When you can't admit when you've hurt someone, when you can't apologize without attaching excuses, you weaken the bond of trust. People stop opening up to you because they know you'll twist the truth to protect your ego. They stop counting on you because they know you'll disappear when responsibility is required. Respect in relationships is not built on never making mistakes. It's built on how you handle them when you do. There is also a deeper issue at play. Avoiding accountability reveals fear, fear of judgment, fear of consequences, fear of not being enough, but fear-driven behavior never commands respect. Respect comes from courage, and courage is shown in facing what you'd rather avoid. When you own your choices, even your failures, you send a powerful message. I am strong enough to handle this. People admire that, They may not like the mistake, but they respect the honesty. The most respected people you'll ever meet are not those who never fail. They are those who fail, own it, and grow from it. They don't run from responsibility, they embrace it. They see accountability not as a burden, but as a sign of strength. And because of that, people trust them. They trust their word, their actions, and their leadership. They know if things go wrong, that person will not abandon them. That reliability is the foundation of influence. Avoidance of accountability might protect your ego in the moment, but it destroys your credibility in the long run. People are always watching how you handle setbacks. They're listening to how you explain mistakes. They're paying attention to whether you stand up or shrink away. Every choice either strengthens your reputation or weakens it. Respect is not earned through perfection, it's earned through responsibility. The more you avoid it, the less people will believe in you. The more you embrace it, the more respect you will command. Needing constant validation strips away respect. At first, people may sympathize with your need for reassurance, but over time it becomes exhausting, and it reveals something much deeper: insecurity. When every action you take is followed by a question, was that good enough? Do you approve? Did I do this right? You show others that you lack confidence in yourself, and when you don't believe in yourself, it's hard for anyone else to believe in you. Respect comes from self-assurance, not from constantly seeking approval. There is a difference between healthy feedback and constant validation. Seeking feedback shows that you are willing to learn and grow, but validation seeking is about craving permission to feel worthy. It's when you need someone else to tell you that you're valuable, capable, or successful before you can accept it yourself. This constant craving gives away your power. It tells people that your sense of self is not rooted inside you, it's dependent on their words. That dependency signals weakness, and people instinctively lose respect for those who cannot stand on their own. Think about the strongest, most respected people you know. They don't walk around begging for approval. They carry themselves with quiet confidence. They make decisions without announcing them to the world and asking for applause. They validate themselves first, and because of that, others validate them naturally. In contrast, the person who constantly asks, "What do you think? Was that good? Do you like me?" quickly loses authority. Instead of projecting strength, they project doubt, and doubt erodes respect. The danger of needing constant validation is that it makes you easy to manipulate. If people know you crave approval, they can control you with praise or criticism. They can withhold validation to make you chase it, or give it to you strategically to influence your behavior. You lose independence because you've handed over control of your self-worth to others. Respect doesn't go to people who can be so easily swayed. It goes to those who are steady, self-reliant, and not desperate for external approval. There's also an emotional cost. Constant validation seeking drains relationships. Friends, partners, colleagues, they grow tired of having to reassure you over and over again. Instead of seeing you as strong and reliable, they see you as needy. Over time, this creates distance because people respect those who bring stability, not those who demand endless reassurance. Respect thrives where there is strength, not fragility. The truth is, when you need validation all the time, you never feel satisfied. The praise you get lasts for a moment, but then the doubt creeps back in, and you search for the next compliment, the next approval, the next sign that you're enough. It becomes a cycle that never ends, and people watching from the outside begin to lose faith in you. They realize you're not secure, and insecurity repels respect. The real solution is learning to validate yourself. When you trust your own judgment, when you can look at your work, your effort, your choices, and know they have value without needing someone else to confirm it, you become unshakable. People respect that kind of inner strength because it shows independence. It shows that you're not controlled by the opinions of others, but guided by your own standards. That kind of self-respect commands external respect. Respect is not given to those who beg for it. It's given to those who stand tall without asking. The moment you stop chasing validation and start believing in yourself, people notice. They see the confidence, they feel the independence, and they respond with admiration. Needing constant validation strips away respect, but self-validation builds it in every area of life.